what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are back here in Forza Horizon 4 today, and we're going to be checking out the new car for the summer season, the Mclaren 600 Longtail. I'm not going to go too in-depth with this car in Forza Vista or even customization because it's honestly not much different than the other McLarens. In fact, if you look at McLaren's website, this car is really kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different McLarens. Like, it's got like 720S brakes, the 570S engine. One of the real big differences for this car is it runs a special tire compound from what I understood, and it's on a slightly different floor tub because these cars are carbon monocoque, so it does have a slightly wider track width and a slightly longer nose and tail than the previous models. Besides that though, it's not a lot different than the other McLarens. It is faster, it has got things done aerodynamically, and just as far as tuning to make it a better performing car overall. But when it comes down to it, it's just a bunch of McLarens put together on a new chassis to make a new model. That being said, I have no issues with the car. I actually think it's a beautifully made car. It performs amazingly well. One of my real big disappointments here in Horizon though honestly has to do mostly with performance, because if you look at McLaren's specs on this car, 0 to 60 is 2.9 seconds, top speed at 204 out of the factory. After tuning it and upgrading the stock engine as far as I possibly could with all the other upgrades, like this has all the suspension work, all the drivetrain upgrades, I could only get this 0 to 60 down to I want to say it's 2.69 or something like that. We'll go check just to make sure, but I'm pretty positive it's like 2.6, 2.72. So after my final tweaking apparently to my tuning, it's brought it back down even a little bit more. Not that that's slow or anything, but it's kind of a disappointing number considering how much lighter this car is than the 570S and how much power it puts out. This is, I want to say like around 920 horsepower, I think is what the build was. So really not that impressive of numbers for acceleration. If we swap to all-wheel drive, obviously we could probably get that number a little bit higher, but I did not want to do that because it kind of ruins the way these cars handle. It's an incredibly well cornering car. It's not blindingly fast. It's obviously very, very quick, accelerates like a madman, but it's the grip and the way it feels in the corners that makes this car, that makes this car really, really great. Oh, very recoverable too. Did not know that about the car, but apparently it's very easy to recover from just a massive slide in this. You know, I was really, really pumped up about us getting this car for summer for season 4 or series 14. And then once I started checking out the customization and what the performance actually looks like, it's honestly kind of a little bit of a letdown. You're not really getting anything much different than if you were driving any other McLaren here in Forza Horizon. Well, besides the looks of the car. I do have to say the balance of the car as far as the way the chassis is and the way it handles definitely is a little bit better than most of the other McLarens, but this is supposed to be like the flagship of their sport series of cars. It's supposed to be like the culmination of all of their engineering and new advancements all put into one vehicle to make it as good as possible for the sport lineup of cars they have. I just really would have liked to see more out of it. See if we can get some of these flames to pop out of this exhaust back here. There we go. One thing I think is really cool about this car is how they did do the exhaust dumps right above the spoiler like that. But as a matter of safety, they did go ahead and use a special coating or a special type of carbon. I can't remember what exactly it said on their site. but it's heat resistant to stop it from catching on fire from all the extreme exhaust temperatures dumping out right there on the spoiler. Especially being a turbocharged car, because the exhaust gases do run much hotter. I gotta say, I really prefer the sound of this thing in first person. For a canyon carver or something though, or if you just like cruising around the main map and you really like supercars, this is a great car for that because of the way it handles and the balance of it. It's really easy to push this car extremely hard into these corners without much of any issues at all, really. .130 around there, and not even the smallest sound coming from the tires fighting for traction. Had a little bit of squeal there, but that was close to what, 175 probably. I checked coming out of the corner, it said about 180, so it had to be close to 175. Really got to stop looking at the speedometer so much. Anyways, I gotta really stop paying so much attention to the speedometer. I'm trying to see what kind of cornering speeds I'm hitting in this thing though, because it's honestly astonishing how well glued to the road this car is. Which is a lot of what they talked about on their website too, was a lot of what makes this car as good as it is has to do more with the packaging and the aerodynamics of the vehicle than it does about any improvements in, say, power or actual brake efficiency or anything like that. So like I said, this is just using parts from other McLarens on a new monocoque. Besides that, it's all just McLaren parts that are off of other models that have already been in production. They did do quite a bit to this car as far as aerodynamics to make the car handle better. But a lot of it also has to do with help cooling everything down, keeping your brakes cool, getting enough back to the engine to keep everything back there cooled, because this is a very, very tightly packaged motor. If you do have the car and you go in Forza Vista and check it out and pop the rear engine cover off so you can look down in there, there is like literally no room for anything else in this car. Step on it a little too much and this thing will definitely still go out on you. So guys, let's go ahead and take this thing in, jump in a couple races with it real quick, see how it does. I have high hopes for it just because of how well it handles, but it also falls in a really weird place class-wise, so it could really go either way. So I picked the Edinburgh Station circuit because this is a fairly technical circuit layout, and there's a lot of obstacles you gotta really watch out for, so it'll really test this car's handling and braking abilities. Also got quite a bit of elevation change throughout this track, so it really tests the downforce of the car and see if the suspension's able to help keep it planted on the ground and keep traction. I'm really hoping the AI is not being as nasty as they were when I was playing earlier today, because when I was first getting all the events finished up to get enough completion for this to be unlocked, I was having major headaches with the AI. Even turning the difficulty down, it was not helping. They were just driving like maniacs. They were insanely fast for some reason. It was not a good time. Especially not when I'm not trying to really challenge myself. I'm just trying to get completion bonus cars unlocked. Just drifted out in the McLaren. I don't know who that was that got in my fender back there, but they just about spun me out. This thing accelerates so quickly out of the corners. Gotta really manage the throttle with how far I have this thing upgraded so you don't just light the tires up coming out of corners. If you give it just a little too much, this thing spins up so quick that you're just spinning out almost immediately. It's so hard to recover from, and if you do, it really slows you down. Just like that right there, just a little too much throttle and the car almost spun all the way on me. Using all of the track up there, literally edge to edge. Oh no. So I was gonna say, so low speed corners, definitely not this thing's strong suit. You gotta really have good throttle control to be able to get this thing around really tight corners really quickly. But it's not terrible. I definitely drove worse, and you can't expect a lot with 900 horsepower. At the end of upgrading this thing, I was basically throwing horsepower at it just for the sake of throwing horsepower at it, because it was not making the PI go up at all anymore. Honestly, I'd probably be better off backing off like 100 horsepower, maybe even a little bit more, and settling for a lower PI just so the car could grip up better and be more balanced as far as power to weight and how much grip the car has. Alright guys, for this next event we're going to do the Derwent Lakeside Sprint. I did set up a custom blueprint for this. It's the McLaren vs Ferrari blueprint because you can't just run this thing to begin with by itself, so I figured why not make it a rivalry race. So let's go ahead and jump in here and get this thing going. Not the best launch there. Had a little bit of wheel spin, wasn't horrible though. I'm really hoping I can somehow overcome the AI in this race and get a better finish than the last one. But honestly, I'm kind of worried because the AI have been driving so well for some reason today and have been so quick. I do not understand what is going on. It feels like they changed around the way the AI react and how quick they actually are in this update. I don't know if that's true or not. They never mentioned anything about it, but I have been having a horrible time all day racing against AI where I never usually have any issues at all. It seems like they're kind of mellowing out a little bit for this race. Definitely not as bad as they have been, but I'm also on a lower difficulty than I normally play on. Like, I have not played on above average in a very long time. And here I am in 4th place, struggling to get past. Ooh, a little tap there. Oh, he's hitting me, yep. As soon as I saw him start pitching back towards the road, I knew that I was getting a Ferrari in my door. I'm honestly amazed I managed to get up into 1st place. I wasn't gonna mention it, but this is probably about the 12th time I've done this race because on highly skilled, the AI was destroying me. I could not get past 8th place no matter how hard and fast I was driving. And I just was getting so frustrated because I've never had that much issues against AI in this game. Like I said, this is above average and they're on me. Like, I am having such a hard time pulling away from these cars. Oh no. My cheeky little shortcut almost screwed me over. Well guys, there we have it. Finally got a win, even though I had to drop difficulty and probably took about 8 tries at this one race. Let me know down in the comments below, guys, if you've noticed anything since the updates happened about how you feel the AI is driving and how difficult they are to beat. Because I really feel like something has changed. They used to not be anywhere near that difficult to get or overtake and beat on highly skilled, and here I am dropping it down to above average, and I still had to do 2 tries after dropping difficulty to even get to the end without the AI just destroying me. As far as the car goes though, guys, it's a really great car. It's nothing super spectacular. It's basically what you would expect from an amalgamation of all the really good McLarens thrown together on a better chassis. I mean, really, that's all you can expect from this car, because that's all this car really is in the end. So should you take the time to go out and get it? Definitely. It only has a 50% completion bonus car, so if you qualify for ranked adventures, you do the monthly rivals, the 3 seasonal objective or seasonal PR stunt objectives, and probably the showcase remix, I want to say, you should be able to get it. It should not take you very long, like an hour tops. I do want to point something out real quick though while I'm talking about that and while it's on my mind. I thought this car was going to be an 80% completion bonus vehicle and I was going to be spending all day unlocking it. They just switched the pictures. It even has the right percentage above it. If you look at the screen, it's just the 50% completion car is on the right for some reason. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button down below, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.